Cash has many supporters. I'm back talking with you about the Prime Minister's move towards making India cashless. Why cash has big supporters? I'm G. Ramachandran, Ramach to my associates and my friends. My email indiagrow@gmail.com. Sorry, in my last presentation I'd said GST is General Sales Tax. I apologize, it's Goods and Services Tax. The story so far: the Prime Minister has set off the spirit of National Highway 6, NH6. The Prime Minister has pushed India towards going cashless. This makes the states and the centre fiscal allies. So, the states and the centre need shared fiscal processes and shared fiscal networks. Moreover, these shared fiscal processes and shared fiscal networks will serve citizens, households and firms seamlessly. Therefore, cashless and seamless need one another. Cashless and seamless need one another. Let's get back to the main story. Cash, less cash and cashless are three straightforward points in a progression. The beneficiaries of the cash economy have a rational interest in arresting this progression. The beneficiaries of the cash economy also have a rational interest in growing the cash economy. The cash economy has certain extraordinarily favorable properties to the beneficiaries of the cash economy, wherein they can hide their incomes and their wealth and protect them from taxation and from any other exercise of sovereign power. Therefore, they would like the cash economy to expand. And they have a use for the bottom of the pyramid, the vast society. This acts as their channels and their shields. Therefore, they would love to draw attention to the inability of households at the bottom of the pyramid to go cashless. They also would want to explain why the cash economy should continue. They would also plead for the continuation of the cash economy, or state why it's very difficult to become a cashless economy. The top of the pyramid, therefore, continues to reap the benefits of the cash economy. This is their game and objective. The three uses of money and then cash separately. Money is a measure of economic activity. We have learned this in school. Money is also a means for transacting, but more importantly, money is a store of wealth. And there's a progression. Use 2 is predicated on use 1, and use 3 is predicated on use 2. Without the certain use of money for transacting, it would be pointless to store money as a store of wealth. Similarly, cash has three uses. Cash is a measure of economic activity, but very importantly, cash has face value, unlike money merely. Money has to have an assigned value, but cash has face value signed by the governor of the central bank or the Reserve Bank of India. Therefore, cash is also a means for transacting, and very obviously, cash is a store of wealth. In this progression too, use 2 is predicated on use 1, and very importantly, use 3 is predicated on use 2. For us to use cash as a store of wealth, someone ought to be continually using it. And that's the reason why there's big support for cash. But first, let's examine this. Not all money is cash. There's non-cash money in the banking system, the banking deposits. And the checks issued by account holders are cleared, transmitted and credited through a common clearing house, and including the electronic messages. They're all netted using a common network, and then they all use a common electronic payment network. Therefore, non-cash money is wholly visible. And these are very good things that we need to keep in mind. Non-cash money has significantly good properties. First, non-cash money is wholly visible. It can be attributed, the sender and the recipient. That's attribution. The stock of non-cash money can be attested. You know where the deposits lie. You don't have to scurry and then count. Then this important element of taxation. Non-cash flows and non-cash stocks can also be taxed, but taxation is not the principal objective of going cashless. Monetary policy is one. Flooding certain money supply into certain pockets to raise money velocity and economic activity could be others. Non-cash money should therefore be the natural friend and ally of the progressives, liberals, the liberal progressives, and the progressive liberals. We have a variety of them, but their objectives are very clear. We should serve society at large. That's very important. Therefore, non-cash is a very important issue that they should keep in mind. It's very easy to attribute non-cash flows, attest non-cash stocks, and also subject them to taxation for the overall good of society. Progressives, liberals, and liberal progressives, and the progressive liberals that believe in tax and redistribute are the natural fans of non-cash money. Let's consider the properties of cash as money. It can be made invisible, it just disappears. It's very difficult to attribute the flows of cash money, the sender and the recipient. Quite difficult to attest stocks of cash money, and cash flows and cash stocks are not easily taxable because they can be made invisible. Cash money should therefore be the natural enemy of the liberal progressives and the progressive liberals. They shouldn't be comfortable with cash money. Therefore, staying back in cash and being stuck in cash is not progress at all. This should be the conservative game of the snug as a bug in a rug elites. We need to consider this. But alas, we need to go back to examine the supporters of cash money. They need cash money for both stock and flow, in that order, say with a ratio of about 6:1. For every 6 units of stock, they need 1 unit of flow to keep the pond clear and usable. If money can't flow, it's no good as a stock. Users of cash money provide for these flows, especially at the bottom of the pyramid. Therefore, they are vital allies. Their flows are necessary to keep the utility of the cash stocks of the elite. The mass of cash users at the bottom of the pyramid and across the nation provide the utility through liquidity and legitimacy. Imagine now 200 million households providing liquidity of at least rupees 100 per household per day. Please multiply 200 million with rupees 100. You will have 2 followed by 4 zeros. And that makes it 20 billion rupees cash float at any point in time, say on a whole day basis. So all the tiny pieces of cash add up, which is why supporters of cash want all these things. They need as many uses of cash in as many flows as possible. They also need many users of cash so that the cash pot can be kept stirred. Without users, cash has no vitality. Therefore, they would seek to expand or at least retain the mass of users at the bottom of the pyramid through their dependence on cash. They would like to enforce this wherever possible, make people use cash, and that's to the advantage of the elite. And they would reap the benefits of rupees 20 billion as cash float with unimpaired liquidity across the nation. And that's stupendous. small drops go on to add to become an ocean of liquidity. And therefore, this elitist game needs to be sustained. Therefore, they'll set a high threshold level for the usage of electronic and plastic payments. Shops that say you have to buy namkeen for at least rupees 500 to qualify to use a debit card or a credit card are the obvious practitioners of this dark art. They would also have charges for using your debit card and or your credit card. And that's exactly what the Prime Minister is showing with his left hand and the right hand. There's only a narrow passage that India has provided for the usage of non-cash money in transactions. E-money, mobile money, plastic money, their role has been limited by a nexus of the elites. Therefore, we now need to look at what we're collaborating. We are collaborating to understand our economy. Supporters of the cash economy need as many households at the bottom of the pyramid to conduct as many transactions as possible in cash. Households at the bottom of the pyramid are the capillaries and the root hairs that support the need of the elites. It's a vast underground system. Thank you for your time and your interest. I'm Ramachandran, Ramach. My email is indiagrow@gmail.com. I'll be back soon. Thank you for watching.